Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I have had quite a few of my subscribers send in to me examples of the recent Android bugs with Parry and Dexterity and input problems. And to that, I simply have to say is that I have never seen such a horrible players in my game. Honestly, absolutely dreadful. And when you make a mistake, you should own up to it. When you die in Alliance War because you think you have had an input issue, you should just act like a grown-up and own up to your mistakes. Or at least those were a very significant portion of the comments that I received on my past Season Alliance War videos when I was talking about the same issues. So it is kind of a little bit funny. But on a serious note, obviously, there is not much that is funny about this. There are a lot of issues, as we can see here. And I'm using this video as an example, even though it is in quite bad quality. You can quite literally see that huge delay from when you are tapping on a screen, because we can see that dot there that represents the input, and the champion actually just not behaving properly at all. And this is one ugly fight with a ton of issues. And I have many more examples from several people sent in to me, and all of them look quite dreadful to me. And that is what I would describe the game as unplayable in many cases. Like here, very simple thing he's trying to do. He needs to get in 4 parries before he wants to, start becoming aggressive. And he can't. He literally can't get in 4 parries in a row in a very straightforward fight. And obviously, I know that that is not the player issue. It can't be. Nobody who plays high-tier Alliance Wars would be in that alliance to begin with if you would not be able to land a couple of parries. Or at the very least, you're going to make, one mistake, something. And it is extremely obvious that there are some very significant issues with the game. Now, as I have mentioned before, for next day or so, you can sort out that issue by installing the last month update. You are able to uninstall this current update if the input issues for you have gotten significantly worse. And I uploaded a video earlier today that kind of explains what you can do to install January update on your game, on your phone, and at least for a day and a half, play this game normally as you did last month, and hopefully by then Kabam has had a solution. But that does not necessarily look likely, because I went through this thread and it didn't fill me with confidence that Kabam, at least at the front end, at least at the people who are communicating this issue, are really aware or that it is clear to them what has gone wrong, because they're just giving generic replies of that they are looking into it, and then further on some other people from Kabam are just asking for specific details of what devices are you using, how it looks like, asking for video evidence. Hey folks, if you don't mind, we'd like to get some clarification on something. So what happens when you press, it's kind of like shooting in the dark. If it was clear to them what has gone wrong, there would be no real need for questions and posts like this. So the working theory that I have heard from more people is that Kabam on Android is forcing lower frame rate on a lot of devices, on devices that are capable of 120 hertz screen refresh rate, or 60 frames per second refresh. They are being forced down to 30 frames per second, and that is likely, something to do with these issues, which is something that I believe Kabam was working on, as in where you can customize the video graphic quality, basically, and based on what kind of phone you use. And it likely has something to do with that. Again, I'm not the most tech-savvy person, and I don't know exactly. Obviously, I can't speak with certainty about what is behind this, but the problem is clear in front of us. Now, there are a lot of users who have had these exact same issues for a very, very long time, and I have heard comments like, a lot of iOS users had to deal with it for 5-6 months, finally somebody else has to, and that is completely wrong attitude. Even if there are a handful of people more who suffer, that does not make it good. The hope is obviously that this does get resolved as soon as possible, because based on the videos they have seen, for many more players, this game currently is absolutely intolerable and unplayable, which obviously leads us to the next point of conversations: what to do from here on out. And that obviously depends how long this issue is going to persist. One thing is clear: current alliance war is kind of ruined. I am all but certain that current alliance war should not count for alliance war season, regardless of what happens further. And then we're going to discuss our options. And luckily, Alliance Quest is, off on the days off right now. But the current alliance war should not count for the season because so many people are getting screwed. Then what to do further with the alliance war season? Well, that kind of depends on Kabam. If they are able to sort out these issues by the time the next war starts, and luckily we do get that day break now, so they're going to have effectively another 2 days or so to work on sorting out these problems. If they can do it within the next 2 days, they can carry on with the remainder of the season. But that is only if they have sorted out these problems. If the game is still as unplayable as it is right now for that large amount of people, then obviously the season would have to be put aside. It would not be reasonable for anybody to expect for people to try and compete in serious competitive game mode with, unfunctional controls. So that is my stance on Alliance Wars themselves. Similarly, it's kind of said with Alliance Quest. I don't think until the issue is sorted, Alliance Quest should go on. Or I just don't think it should, to be honest. Again, it sucks. It sucks for me. Like, I'm personally not experiencing the problems, and delaying Alliance Quest will just mean that I get less rewards in longer period of time, basically. But you can't realistically expect thousands of people to go on, play map 7, 5, 6, whatever maps everybody plays, and spend all the items and spend all the boosts and be extremely frustrated because none of their inputs function properly. Nothing that's time sensitive or competitive should carry on in the game as it is right now. Again, I do think that Kabam has about 2 days or day, let's say, to try and fix this issue immediately. And if they're unable to do so, they do have to pull the plug on all the more competitive and costly game modes. Luckily, it's not like there is a ton of things happening in the game right now. So it wouldn't have that major of an impact as it otherwise could have had. That being said, the final point is obviously the mandatory screams for compensations. And here's the thing. I get it. I think Kabam owes us 50 compensation packages for the last half a year of crap that has been happening in the game. But at the same time, I'm well past the idea of Kabam did something wrong, we should get compensated, because they do something wrong with every single update, and it's quite ridiculous. I don't care for compensations nowhere near as much as I care for a functioning game. And I will not, join the calls for 6-star Nexus crystals for everybody and stuff like that. Especially because in reality, right now, majority of the issues are not necessarily connected with earning great amount of rewards. Just because in game, aside from permanent content, which again you will be able to do once the issues are resolved, there are no real rewards at stake or to be earned. We don't have any timed high reward quests and things like that, and and the Alliance Quest and Alliance War potions are being sent to us pretty much all the time. So on that compensation thing is, if you feel strongly that Kabam should send a compensation to you for this Android screw up, sure, go campaign for compensation. I will not judge you, but I will not jump on it either, just because I'm so much over compensations. think compensations solve nothing. I just want the game to work moderately well, and that's it. That's the best compensation for me. Fix the bloody game. And there we are. So again, my condolences and sympathies to all the people who are currently experiencing major input issues. I do feel for you. A lot of people have had to deal with that exact same problem over the last 6-7 months, myself being one of them. Currently, though, it does not seem like my inputs are being affected as they were a couple months ago. And this is a question of timing. How long does it take for Kabam to fix this, undo this, redo this? If they can do it within a day or two, I think Alliance for Seasons can carry on. I think Alliance Quest can carry on then. If they take any longer than that, Seasons unfortunately will have to be cancelled. And sucks. It's unacceptable. I've never interacted with a company that messes up that much. I do think it is down to the culture in the workplace. I do think that in Kabam, creating significant errors and making very big mistakes comes with little to no consequence to your job security. And I do believe that things like this happen because they're allowed to happen. There's no incentive to change. But that would be a topic for an entirely different video. I, again, just hope that you're not affected. If you are affected, for next day, you can install the January version. See my video upload before this video to find out exactly how and get a link for it. And, well, hang in there. See you guys. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about